Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Underground Arcade podcast here on our wonderful platform. Maybe you're listening to this on YouTube, maybe it is on our official website, wherever you're listening. Maybe actually, I have a big question. Would you be listening from your bed, on your way to work? Are you listening when you're just chilling and vibing on your own setup? I would like to know that. Get in touch in our, social media. We're going to put a little poll and see what you guys think. But before any of that, guys, my name is Archer Lopez. I'm your main host here on the Underground Arcade podcast, where the players do get to talk, for this episode at least. And here with me, I have, first of all, our co-hosts, CK.
Hello.
And DeAndre.
Hey, everyone.
And we also have our wonderful guests, the Bulgarian Mario Brothers, Costa and Alex. How are you guys doing?
Hey guys.
Actually, Costa's wearing green today. I'm not wearing red, unfortunately.
Luigi. Oh, hi guys. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on the show.
Thanks for the invitation.
It is
Thank
the
you.
first episode, and here you guys are. We are very excited to have you guys here because there's a lot of stuff that is going to be discussed. We're going to do a little bit of a personal, touch the personal basis a little bit first, talk a little bit about gaming-related experiences and ourselves. And speaking of which, let's start the introductions with none other than our wonderful guests. Guys, what do you do?
First
What's
of
your
all,
name?
my name is Kostadin Sotirov. You can call me Costa for short. Yeah, we are here in Birmingham. Me and myself and my brother born in Bulgaria. Well, we wouldn't expect us to be born to other different places.
Could be born in Hungary, though.
Yeah, born in
Apparently.
Hungary.
For some reason.
Yeah, we have a VR arcade here in Birmingham called Matrix VR, and we specialize in virtual reality.
Or we did anyway before the corona kicked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've specialized in doing nothing. Well, kind of. in the
Oh my
last few
god,
months.
yeah, same here.
Getting
Really?
proficient.
You guys own a very, very, very successful virtual reality arcade, Matrix VR, in Brum, and it's in the Custard Factory, real close. So I think you guys are like one of the top 3 places to visit on TripAdvisor, if I'm not wrong.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Insane
we-
amounts of marketing.
Yeah. Thank you for that, by the way.
But yeah, and with that in mind, let's move on to the little. I don't know why I said to the co-hosts. CK.
You're both bigger than you. Okay, yes. I'm
So
CK.
true.
I was like really into gaming, like hardcore gaming. I was a dancer, to which I danced for about 5 years with this crew, which featured on Britain's Got Talent and Got to Dance. We also managed to do a lot of gigs. I met loads of amazing people, and now I sit behind a desk and shoot things. Yeah.
That's a
Podcast
good
sequel.
one. That's pretty epic. From a b-boy to a shooty boy
Yeah.
here at the Underground Arcade crew. What about you, DeAndre?
Hello, everyone. My name is DeAndre Cumberbatch. I come from the Caribbean, originally a place called Barbados. I moved to England and I started to cover all things media, really, but I specifically enjoy gaming the most. I play on stuff like the PlayStation 4, I play on the Switch these days, and maybe in the future I'll be a PC gamer, who knows. But yeah, I love gaming, so that's why I'm a part of this underground arcade community.
We are the target audience, so what we're hoping to reach you guys through. It's just, we are the people that play the games. We are the people that also look at them in different ways. And I'm Archer Lopez. I'm the host here. I'm the creative director here at the Underground Arcade. Not only at the podcast, but also just generally on the website where we put a lot of stuff. I'm kind of the guy that has the ideas, and then DeAndre and CK are the rest of the team that kind of look at me and go, that's bad, and it needs to be tuned. And that's how we get to where we are now. And with that in mind, I want to talk a little bit about the integrity of games and their servers, stuff that you guys have been seeing a lot. And I'm going to kick this off with a topic that I know some of you have been itching to talk about, Cyberpunk 2077. Right.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay. Let's crack the knuckles. Okay, let's crack the knuckles, put the boxing gloves on, headgear, let's go, talking about Cyberpunk. Here's the thing, right?
Boy.
I am very hypercritical when it comes to talking about hype trains because I looked at Cyberpunk and I have a lot of friends that bought the game.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, we should probably just voice the fact that CK is one of the Cyberpunk fans. It was kind of like GTA, and I'm not really sort of a GTA guy. Like, the last time I played GTA was San Andreas. I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me. I think it's because whilst new GTAs and stuff were coming out, I was very much into CS. So I just played Counter-Strike and kind of stuck with my little Counter-Strike corner. Yeah, what do you guys know so far about Cyberpunk? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's been an absolute flop on PS4, and some say an absolute success in, PC. Master Race. Anyway, what do you guys have to say, my guests, my
Okay.
beautiful guests?
As a consumer, oh sorry, you're a guest, right?
You just can't wait. You just can't wait to talk.
So much to say about it.
let's get CK to say. Obviously, he's got.
It's super into
He's
it.
passionate.
Let's
Go
go.
for it,
Okay.
CK.
Okay, so I'm one of the few lucky ones to get the recent 3000 series graphics cards, and I think that's a big help to my experience of the game. Like, there's a lot of people that I see complaining about it, like they're barely getting 60 FPS and stuff like that, and it's like ridiculous. The game's totally unplayable, and a lot of issues were being thrown out about the game on PC, and I'm here like, what issues? I do
But-
see some bugs every now and then, but it's not totally game breaking for me.
I think
I've-
the funnest. Sorry, I need to interrupt. You just mentioned
Yeah.
bugs, right? The funniest thing that I've seen about Cyberpunk 2077 is it's a clip on Twitter that some of you might have seen, which is an NPC on a wheelchair, and when you scare him, he gets off and runs away.
Yes,
You guys have seen it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I need to find that. I
I've
didn't even.
seen it on Twitter. It
My-
was
I will-
trending.
I will scare the handicapness out of you.
Literally cured the guy by like shooting a bullet on the floor, and he gets so scared. The NPC just gets scared and it just stands up and runs away. In between that, I've also seen like it's really odd because I've seen beautiful clips of like driving and these
Oh
cinematic
my
experiences,
God,
and it's
so
been amazing.
good.
And then on the other side, I see like clay cars
Yeah,
and clay people
PS1
walking
graphics,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, I see PS1 graphics, and it gets me a little confused. But yeah, what do you guys have to say? Let's develop this a little bit more.
All right, here's the thing. I haven't played the game. I've got to be clear about this. But I've watched quite a few like fail videos from the bugs and all of this, and then I've spoken to people who have played it extensively, and a lot of people's opinion is it's a good game. Yes,
Oh,
there
yeah,
are
it's
lots of
brilliant.
bugs, but I think it's just because people had this massive expectation they will be flawless. Come on, no game is flawless. I mean, you got to remember, I remember playing GTA like Vice City. I just remember like 10 meters away when the cars drive past, they just go into a haze, and you can see how they just degrade, how they, all of the detail just disappears. So, if you just draw a parallel there and think of this game now, Cyberpunk, it's amazing. Like if you just played one game from years ago and played this one, you'd be like, what are you talking about? It's perfect. So
lot of
I think
people
it's just
have this.
expectations.
Yeah.
I think people are taking this a bit too far. Come on, the game is. I think what you've seen, like a compilation of many fails, one after the other. You see someone shoot at a door and like you get ejected the same speed as the bullet is in the opposite direction. It's funny. It's just haven't we all played the game and we found the bug and we laughed?
It's like,
Absolutely.
come on.
Absolutely.
Film producers put Tarantino. You remember when in Django Unchained, the guy shoots the other
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Like the bullet goes 90° to what it's supposed to, and they both fly. It's funny.
It's
You could say it's a masterpiece.
it makes you laugh, and I think it's not as bad as everyone's making it. Plus, the developers are really the developers really, putting their work there to
No,
fix.
it's half baked, bro. Come on.
It's,
No,
but
I read,
content
I
support.
read, I read a lot like how it was really badly managed. How there was a lot of stress put on the developers, and the schedules were not anywhere realistic. Now some people had to put like 5 days a week, 13 hours days, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was a lot about like bad management and just expectations of saying, oh yeah, we're gonna be done, and that's just people, not the engineers, not the coders, but like people like corporate level saying, oh yeah, it's gonna be
the
fine.
best part about that is the incredible amount of memes that came from Cyberpunk being delayed over and over and over.
Oh, the tweet of the guy where he's like, "Please, I've skipped work. Can
Yeah,
it
that
be
one
ready?"
tweet, that one tweet where the guy says he like I think he tweeted at the Cyberpunk Twitter account saying I've taken a day off work the day before it was supposed to be released after being delayed twice, and Cyberpunk hit him with the no, it's absolutely gonna be out, prepare yourself, it's gonna be super fun, and then like
He
2
goes-
hours later Cyberpunk hits us with
We
that
regret
yellow
to inform
screen.
you
Yeah.
that the game will not be finished, and December 10th
Wow.
will be the new release date. And it's like,
And everyone just tweeted at the guy saying, "Hope you get your job back."
Oh my god.
So yeah, a lot of people going out. I definitely agree with the sentiment of no game's ever perfect. I think the most damaging thing about Cyberpunk, it's not the bugs, it's not the player base, it's the hype. Because hype
Agreed.
nowadays, hype culture
Agreed.
is something that takes excitement out of something, and it builds onto it builds onto unrealistic expectations. And I'm experiencing that currently right now with a little game coming out soon next month called Monster Hunter Rise. A lot of people have these insane expectations for the game that are just not real. The game's going to come out on the Switch, not on PC and consoles like PS4 and Xbox Series. It's not going to be like that. And a lot of people have these a lot of people are even saying, we have an article written on this that should be up by the time this podcast is up, talking about why people just don't want to play it because they think that it should be this absolutely flawless game, and it's just not what it's there to do. And Cyberpunk and a lot of other games fall victim under this, It's it's a problem because people get on the hype train and they get these sort of unrealistic expectations. And when the game turns out to not be perfect, which, spoiler alert, like Alex said, no game's ever free, they kind of opt out of it and they go on social media and get really angry and type things out. So, be kind, guys. And I think Alex and Costa pointed out another great point, which is it's a corporate issue. It's not really the engineers and the game designers, developers behind it. It's more of a business side of things, Poor management, at the end of the day, is what enables mistakes to happen, really.
Let me just add one more thing into this. I think it's a matter of the way their previous games are also being developed, and this is not an issue that's just come about. I know that the Witcher series that was pretty much the same, and that they'll start patching it and fixing it. But isn't that, in a way, if everyone's expecting a game to be flawless and game studios are not providing this, wouldn't that bring the hype levels down, which could be seen as something good in the fact that yes, you're getting the game, no, it's not perfect, yes, you're getting support for it, but
You
I
would
think
think so, wouldn't you? You'd think there would be a more positive attitude towards hot fixes and patches, but there really isn't. I don't know if you guys have recently heard about this, but the original Battlefront 2 from PlayStation, like from Warhead Studios, I think,
yeah.
it recently got a patch, in the first patch in like 5 years, and it broke the game. And people were completely angry about it. They were just like, "God damn, you guys managed to break a PS2 game on PC. Like, how did you do that?" And that kind of that kind of anger I can understand. I can get myself behind that. But it's the kind of thing of, we have fixed this, but we haven't fixed everything. I don't really get, like Costa says, should be a bit more of a positive attitude, really.
Yeah, but like with the whole thing with CD Projekt Red, what I did enjoy, like what I thought was really good, because obviously they did acknowledge it was broken and like things needed to be fixed and everything. is that they set up a timeline. It's not like they know that not everything's gonna be fixed like in a snap. But as well as that, they were like, okay, sorry, we messed up the game. We're gonna do our best to fix it. It's not gonna be instant, but you know what? In the future, we're gonna hand out some free DLC as well, because that's what they said in their timeline alongside their tweets. I think I'm looking forward to that after completing the game. Like, I think I'm doing a second playthrough now, trying to do like a stealthy ninja build, and it's like with the game with what you have right now, there's still so much to do. There's so much playability. It took me basically a month to complete the game on my first run through because I was exploring and doing quests and everything. And now the second time, I'm probably going to spend another couple months on it, trying to 100% the game and doing everything, just to see how it goes and trying to get the different endings. It's literally people are like looking so much at the bad and not at the pros of the game. Like the hype was all in the pros. No one ever like disregarded any of their features, but now they're saying all of these like downsides is making the game totally unplayable. But like one, it's like going into a game without any biasness. If you go into a game where you feel like you're not gonna like it, you are basically not going to like it. But if you go into a game where it's like, oh, I've never tried this before, let me try it out and see what it's like, and you slowly learn about everything in the game, the story, the world, it gets really interesting. Like people just need to be more open-minded. Same how like a good example I think Costa knows about like this kind of example is that when people go into the arcade at VR and they say, "Oh, I don't like VR. Last time I did it, I was dizzy," and it was actually because they did it on their Android phone. It's literally like because you've had a bad experience or you've seen people with bad experiences, your own initial experience of the title or whatever you're consuming is like watered down because of what other people said. It's not truly your own opinion
Yeah.
because
I agree.
you're
so
not
much
open
with
about
that.
it
And that's not just with gaming. That's just
in
in the
general.
world of, let's say, travel. You know, if you research the crap out of something, you know, and you go there, it's no longer what you would have experienced unless if you didn't research it as much. You know, if you build these enormous expectations and then you go to a place and it's more likely that it doesn't meet the expectations because someone's overhyped it, for example. But just try not to be negative at least, and try not to just enjoy it while you're at it, and
Just look at the
find
bright side
what it
as
does
well.
for you. Yeah.
I think
It's a
I
lot.
think
Yeah, sorry,
Sorry.
go on, Alex.
I think the hype trains, they don't stop. I mean, there's a hype for a game, and then if there's any slight chance that there's some bugs, the hype train goes on, but it changes to a hype train to just devour the game, to just pick it apart, and everyone's like, let's be hyenas. Let's like get every little bug, and every one of us is going to talk as much as possible about it. So everyone still has that energy, that inertia, but now it's gone into negative, where it's like, okay, we're just gonna show every negative bit about it. So I think that's the double-sided edge of hype trains, that if it slightly goes wrong, it will bite you back in the butt.
But going back to what CK said, he didn't experience like CK was. Am I right in saying that you actually experienced very few bugs, or what?
Yeah,
Is that the-
like when I went in, it was like, oh, this is fun. Like I like the combat system. I like the upgrades. I like all the little things. I encountered a couple bugs. Like I'm casually driving through Night City in my very expensive muscle car, and then like it flickers, and I'm like, what's going on? And I see my avatar T-posing on top of the car while I'm driving. And it's like, like in my head, I'm like, you can just open the window. It's okay. And he's still T-posing, and it's like, you know what? That's okay. I don't mind that. And then there's little bugs as well. Like there's a glitch that you can do where you take no fall damage. And I abuse that glitch. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's fun to abuse a glitch like that.
Oh, you little
Like,
cheater.
I'm climbing a whole building filled with enemies trying to assassinate this one guy, but I don't kill every single person in there, and I have to sneak back down, go to the elevator and everything. And I'm like, fuck that! I'm gonna slide off this bridge and land perfectly fine, and that's it.
10 points.
I expected there to be backlash. Honestly, with the game, with a game that huge, getting that much interest, I just saw it coming from a mile away because I've already had that experience where I played a game religiously and had high expectations for it. Like it was a game called Warframe, right? So like that's a game where you play as like cyborg ninjas and stuff like that. My expectations for that game were super high each time they would release an update, and each time they would release an update, I'd get immensely like disappointed every single time. So whenever a game like Cyberpunk came into the picture, I was like, yeah, yeah, the gamers are they're gonna be disappointed one way or another. Like they're just not gonna be happy. So I expected it. You know, this happens with movies and not just games as well, TV shows, etc. It's just people just really do have way too high of an expectation for certain things.
But Trey, I just want to ask you one thing, and actually go towards the point that having great hardware really makes it a lot nicer experience. Whereas, imagine trying to play it on the PS4, where it's practically impossible, or this game has not specifically been built to support. Well, it has been, but not significantly put a lot of focus on it. And so I imagine how I would be very disappointed if I were trying to play something unplayable. And very few people have managed to enjoy it as it should have been enjoyed on like 3000 series graphic cards and powerful processors. So I can imagine the disappointment. I can see how people are not happy. But if you're lucky enough to have good hardware, then it's very likely that you have a good experience.
And just to join in on that sort of
I'm not
topic,
denying that.
I think definitely hardware makes a difference. This segues perfectly into what I wanted to talk about now, which would be okay. So here's the thing, right? I'm not even gonna give you the full story. I'm just gonna give you hints and drops. During lockdown, as a university student, I was forced into creating basically my own studio. We do a lot of media. Myself, DeAndre, and CK do a lot of media. We do a lot of production, with a lot of editing, and in all honesty, I didn't necessarily have the best base for it. I was struggling with doing what I had to do. So I decided that with the money that I had, I would put together my first ever custom built PC. And I had a lot of people help me with it. CK helped me with it. Alex helped me with it. DeAndre helped me with it. And a lot of people that, are my friends helped me build it. And it's standing right next to me right now. And ever
Kronk.
since then, Kronk, because it's all coming together. But it's been an incredible experience having this next to me. And it was built on a very, determined budget. I was lucky enough for Amazon to refund my processor, but we don't talk about that. But this segues perfectly because I wanted to talk about people selling stuff at secondhand, people that inflate the prices of things such as the PlayStation 5 and the RTX series, right? Because I am quite disgusted by this sort of secondhand inflation culture that has popped up everywhere recently, where people buy a PlayStation 5, or like even better, earlier, almost I think halfway through April last year, I was going on a trip for my birthday, and then COVID happened, trip was no longer possible, and I wanted to buy a Switch, but they were all out of stock, and the places that were selling Switches were selling them for 500, 700, and you see this again, history is repeating itself again with the PS5, where it's like people buy it and then sell it for 3, 4, 5 times the amount of the original price. And it's such a nasty way to make not that much money if you look at the grand scheme of things. What do you guys have to say?
Well, let me begin
Guess
with
first.
that. This is all economics driven. The principles of economics, you cannot go around it. It's if there is a market for something, and if the original the original retail price is set too low for the demand it's about to expect, and supply is going to suffer. You wouldn't be able to produce as fast as people are buying it. And this is just normal economics. I think the PlayStation should be priced higher to address this. If it initially was priced higher, then people wouldn't have emptied the shelves so quick, and the trade value of it, the margins would be a lot lower, so people would not be able to afford and resell at such a high rate. And if a company like Nvidia or AMD or Sony knows that there's so much interest, why not just raise the price a bit and let this be the culprit?
Or make more units,
Yeah, make more units, but they are limited. They cannot produce. So yes, obviously invest into expanding capacity.
Or like build a stock buffer for like 2 more months, and then release and have one for everyone.
No, you don't understand. It's just the price is too low. That's what's happened. It doesn't matter how much you build up stock. It will be gone. Like, because there's such a high demand.
I don't necessarily
Yeah.
agree with this, because I think a lot of people are taking advantage of the fact that stocks, they know that these companies cannot produce that many units, and that's historically been proven. So they use this to hoard buy. Like, yes, like you can set a limit of no one can get more than one for themselves, but then they get their friends' accounts, and it looks like it's legit, but actually one person ends up with 5 units and then resells them. So theoretically they're not doing anything wrong, because it's actually their friends' accounts. But so people are like hitchhiking, having a piggyback ride on this, and just utilizing this and just having an advantage. And then when people that actually want to play and actually want to use the product, there's no more stock. So what
Yeah.
are they gonna do? They're gonna have to either wait half a year, 1 year, or they're gonna have to pay £300 or £400 more, which is ridiculous. So
Yeah,
it's
it's such a hard thing, because like there's a whole thing of like scalper culture. Like that's what happened last time, because there was a because Japan's businesses and factories were closed, so they couldn't manufacture any switches. Like, I walked into a shop trying to find one, and the guy literally said, "Yeah, it's like gold dust right now. Like, if you find it, then you find it. If not, it's not there anymore." And it's like, okay, cool, that makes sense. And I feel like it's even worse with the graphics cards as well, because there's actually more into it than I've seen. Like, I'm seeing stock prices on the cost of materials changing, imports being different. E-tailers are actually pushing up the prices as well because of the lack thereof stock. Scalpers are obviously trying to do their best. They got bots now trying to find stock.
yeah.
I think a big culprit of it as well are GPU miners. Like, GPU miners are buying up every single graphics card.
Fucking
They've
doggy.
even they've even resorted to buying the RTX laptops, the 3000 series laptops, and they're just like putting them up in a V shape just to mine their Bitcoin and mine their whatever to turn it into a profit. And it's insane how far they're going to even go through the laptop side of it. It's
Yeah,
just
I think this really highlights the sort of problem that's been basically it was a thing before, COVID, but now it's just skyrocketed with people being stuck at home and maybe losing jobs and stuff. Look, I will always respect the hustle that will get food on the table, as long as no one really gets hurt. Trying your best is what really matters. But it's just, I know for a fact, I know someone who is very financially stable, has a job, and this person, who I will not name for obvious reasons, got their hands on 4 PS5 units, and I think one of the RTX 70 series, the 3070 series, and I asked them, "Oh, are you planning on doing, this is someone that has a following on a social media that, again, I will not disclose, but this is someone that, has a very financial, stable situation and has a good setup on their own." And I said, "Oh, are you buying these for someone else?" And they just replied to, "No, I'm just going to inflate the price and sell them for like 3 times the amount." And I just look at them and think, but
Wow.
why be so nasty when you don't need to? It's just a matter of, it's like you said, it's how the economy turns. Sometimes people really just care about money, even if they don't necessarily are in a situation where they need it. And it makes me look at people that I know for a fact wanted really hard to get a PlayStation 5 or an RTX 3000 series. And I'm looking at them, I'm personally neither. I do intend on getting a PlayStation 5 later in a few years to, just like I did with the PlayStation 4 to buy Bloodborne. I need to go again through Demon Souls, the remake. It's a beautiful thing that I need to do. But I just think it's a bit, not a bit, it's scummy. It's a very nasty, mean-spirited move, which no need for it, unless, like I said, that is your hustle to put food on the table. That is the only
Right.
way I can agree with something like this.
Yeah, but I think
Money can really
you know,
make a lot of people go crazy.
Yeah.
I think this would not be a problem. Like scalping would not be possible if there was enough supply to go around. Because obviously, like if there's still stock from the manufacturer, why am I going to buy something that's £200 more from some dude? Yeah,
Then
he's just not going to be able to sell
we
it.
wouldn't be having this conversation if that was the case. But the matter of the fact is, the only way to properly resolve this, economically speaking, is raising the price. If there is
Or
too much
having more
demand,
supply.
yeah, until you fix the supply, raise the prices of, like Sony should
No,
do that.
But what I'm saying is, don't release the product until you have more supply. You very well know, like that last time and the year before that, like your products sold off the shelves like the minute you released them. So this time, give yourself a little bit more effort and stockpile a little bit more so it lasts through the first few months.
Many
I
people,
know-
yeah.
But you build up hype. That's exactly what we're talking about with Cyberpunk. You build up hype, and people are asking you when it's going to be released. There's leaks starting coming out. You're being literally pressured into releasing a product that's either not exactly ready or you don't have enough stock of it. And then this is what happens. So this is exactly the same problem. And if you raise the price, yes, it will make it more difficult for the actual people that want to buy the tech to enjoy it. Yes, it will cost more, but it will remove this margin of profit mongers to, if something costs £700 or 800, you'll be less likely to buy it, and because you know that you make a very little profit on it.
I mean, there's arguments for both, really. I do think that stock and price raising could fix this in one way or the other. I personally don't really have a stand on it. I just think that, like I said, people that do it in a mean-spirited way, exclusively to profit in situations where they're just, taking advantage of the market, I just think that is the thing that needs to stop. Obviously, it's not going to stop. It's the world we live in. But yeah, definitely raising stock could help the situation. Raising the price could also help the situation. I think there's been talks about PlayStation doing petitions through PlayStation accounts. So people that have PlayStation accounts like PS Networks and stuff like that, they can kind of book their PlayStation 5. I know a friend of mine in the Czech Republic did this, and there was a leak of this, and the system kind of fell apart. He was supposed to get his PS5 in January, still hasn't come around yet, and he's already paid, I think it's just around the £350 mark for it. He said the only reason why I haven't refunded it is because now they've gone up to almost 800. So he's just waiting, but God knows how long he will wait. And on that kind of notice, I wanted to talk about the RTX 3000 laptops, right? So I think it's fair to say everybody in here owns a laptop, yeah?
No,
Oh wait, CK doesn't. CK is.
I actually don't own a laptop.
You don't need it.
I don't need it. I'm at home. I don't go out. Not anymore.
Well, you did use Janine's though a lot.
Yes.
So technically speaking, you kind of are a laptop user, just much
Oh
like
yeah,
the
in that
rest.
sense.
In that sense, yeah. What do you guys? First of all, I want to ask you guys. What is your laptop to you? Like, obviously it's a machine you own, but what is like the utility of it for you? Is it your main workstation? Is it something that you use when you're traveling? What do you do?
So I'll start again, just because of the way it's made. it's a business workhorse for me. It's emails. It is the most used piece of electronic after my smartphone. It's purely that, but I do intend to, when it dies, like I use technology until it dies. That is the thing, or until it's not usable anymore. So, I have a Lenovo T420, and it is a tank. It's safe to say it's gone through a motorcycle crash. It saved my back because the crash went into the laptop. It
True
still
story.
works. It's so until
It's like
that
a
dies.
bulletproof vest.
Exactly. It actually I wouldn't have been the same unless I had it in my backpack on my
It
back.
could be this laptop literally could be advertised as military grade.
Yeah. I mean, it has a little crack on the hinge from where it got hit, but that's it. It just works fine. I
Oh,
couldn't believe
guys,
it.
meteor fell on it, has a scratch. It's fine.
It's like Nokia.
Yeah, the Nokia memes, indestructible.
3310. Yeah, but I do intend to eventually have a powerful laptop. I do have access to powerful desktops, as you know, but a laptop is you can take your work with you. If you're doing some video editing, stuff like that is more GPU heavy, then you would of course want to have something like that. And if it's a slim factor one, even better. You can carry it anywhere. And this is why I'm so happy about you, Arthur, having the Razer. It just can carry it anywhere. It's a light laptop, but has a very powerful punch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, so it is a very useful thing in my opinion. No, it cannot replace a desktop, but it can be a workhorse. You can do a lot on it.
My main appeal is to have the main sort of workstation, powerful desktop. You need it to edit, you need it to do your games, you need it to do whatever you want, especially for people like Alex and Costa, who seem to constantly stitch 360 footage 24/7.
God.
I don't know how you guys get that much footage, but anyway, we use those in those sort of ways. But as a student, laptops are like your best friend, right? Especially now, where I sit on my
Yeah.
computer pretty much all day, doing work, attending lectures, listening into all sorts of different media that I consume, playing games. I feel like my laptop, like when I sit on my bed, it already feels like such a different change in environment, which is what we really need in times of being stuck at home constantly.
So I personally don't own a laptop. My girlfriend Janine has one. She actually made the move from the Asus Strix, whatever it was with the 980 in it, to recently upgrading to an MSI GP66, which is the 3070 series laptops, and like it's improved her work. Like she can get more done, she can get things done quicker. Uh, it's a really good substitute because like in her case she can't build a PC right now. She don't have space. And I feel like this is a good alternative, especially with the new Max Q and Max P models that are actually like doing incredibly well. Like these new 30 series laptops are actually the gap between laptop and desktop is getting closer and closer every time now. Like her performance in the laptop is going really well. I think what's really good with laptops as well is obviously like yes, the portability, everything. Uh, New laptops now aren't being much of an eyesore as the older ones. Like I can pretty much say that if you were if you bought an older gaming laptops compared to now, you would definitely prefer now. Everything's much sleek looking, more slimlined. Form factors are getting smaller. Screen ratios are getting bigger. Like everything's just slowly improving with laptops. Uh, and it just makes it easier for on the go if you want to be professional as well. Like the laptop industry is really blowing out there. Like I can't say enough about it. I've been, because of the amount of research I've been putting into laptops to looking for future upgrades if needed. It's just they're being very innovative in different ways. Like a laptop I've been surprised about recently is the Asus ZenBook Pro or something like that. It's graphics card. It's got gaming capabilities, but it's also got a secondary screen at the bottom. They've utilized it in so many ways for different types of productivity, and it's like they know, like laptop companies do know their audiences, and they are like listening and adhering to their needs, and it's a really good time to, or it's not a bad time to be actually a laptop user right now because it just really helps you out.
Boys, I've only got a Dell laptop. I cannot flex. It's literally as basic as it gets.
Is it
But
not
I
like,
use it for work purposes.
so it's like Costa's, but instead of
Oh.
being an indestructible tank, as a standard, you know,
Just
everyday
standard.
laptop.
Yes, it's super fragile, super fragile. I just mainly use it for work purposes.
And I think like when I look at this new,
I can't say much.
when I look at this new RTX 3000 series, the first thought that comes to my mind is how overpriced is this gonna be? Because any gaming laptop in history always has like a very famous overpricing element to it. And I myself have been exposed to this kind of stuff. My desktop, which is probably a third of what I could get, like of what I paid to get I don't know, the Triton 500 or the Triton 700, and it performs like nearly 2 times the amount. I'm not gonna jump into laptop versus desktop sort of debates, but I do fear for the overpricing of things. And like we already said, people are already buying them and reselling them for even triple the amount, and they make serious money with that kind of nasty tactic. But on that final note, guys, I think we've drawn close to the well, we've actually reached the end of the podcast for today. Would you guys like to share any last messages with the viewers for now?
I just wanted to say one last thing about the whole laptops and PlayStation thing. Is for me at least now with the 3000 series, whether desktop or laptop, is gone to a point where it's out of stock all the time. I'm just thinking I'll just wait for the 4000 and do the same as CK did, is buy one at the very beginning and that's it. So I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh, I'm just going to wait for the other one," and so that diminishes demand. But I think people need to be more patient. Just say, I don't think Nvidia will release the next set of graphic cards so soon without them having utilized the opportunity to sell the stock that they wanted to sell with these cards. So don't rush into this. Just wait out. There will be stock. Things will go back to normal. And you will be able to purchase one at a normal price. It doesn't have to be right here, right now. Just wait. I'm sure you can do with your laptop or with your desktop for another 3-4 months, and then you'll be able to buy it at a lot better price. It's all about patience. As with the games, you buy a game, it's not great, you get patches. Just patience is a virtue, really, in today's world.
And with that in mind, guys, we've reached the end of the first episode. I really hope you guys have enjoyed listening. Costa and Alex, it's been wonderful having you guys as our first guests here. Quite exciting. We will have features on these guys coming up. They will talk about stuff such as VR. They'll talk about other related stuff, tech-related stuff, game-related stuff. They're great contributors, and it's never, we can't have enough of them here. And what they have to say. And thank you as well to my co-hosts
Thank you
for
so much, guys.
hosting this with us.
Thank you.
We have some future things planned in mind, but until then, I hope you all do well. Guys, say your goodbyes.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much for listening.
Take
Thank
care,
you
everybody.
so much.
And
Thank
we
you for
shall see
having
you-
us.
We shall see you all very, very soon.